So I've been in medicine about 32 years, and I lived in Bath since 1992, and I've always worked for community child health. And about 8 years ago I decided to do more things abroad, because I didn't do it when I was younger. And I went and did a course in London in tropical medicine, and I've worked in Congo, Tajikistan and Sierra Leone. And more recently, when all the trouble started with Ebola, because I'd worked in Sierra Leone before, I decided I would apply to go back there again. When I got out there, really, truthfully, the peak of the epidemic had just passed. It was at its worst in November, when they had maybe 40, 50 patients in the hospital. But by the time I got out there, the numbers had dropped, thankfully, down to about 18 when I arrived. And I continued to work there for 4 weeks. And by the time I left, there were very few patients in the actual hospital. I think it's a real privilege to be able to use my training and skills. I've always thought that, well, I've never had to join the army or fight a war. Our generation never has. And I sort of feel sometimes there's things that you've got to go and do. The people out there are wonderful, and they were just in a terrible state, really.
The IV team provides community clinics for IV therapy and will care for patients at home who require IV fluids, intravenous medication, central line care if they're undergoing chemo. We also look after women who require fluids for pregnancy sickness.
The support the team gives to women with pregnancy sickness. Emma developed a service before I started where she was being referred to women who needed advice and support at home. It's not been done in the community before. IV fluids has always been given in hospital, so it's meant a hospital admission for these ladies. I think the Duchess of Cambridge, her 2 pregnancies have highlighted how serious actually this is.
What we offer now is a regime where women have some control over their need for fluid. We teach them how to monitor their signs of dehydration and advise them on the most appropriate time to contact us so that we can intervene with maintenance fluids, whether that be weekly or twice a week, to support them throughout their pregnancy. We're really proud of what we're doing. It's making a difference. It's making a massive difference for women and their families.
Always wanted to be a nurse. I know it's one of those cliche things, but I did always want to be a nurse. Started at the IUH in 1980, did my training here. After I've been here for 6 years, I started working in the emergency department. Worked here ever since. Been a matron at the IUH for about 10 years now, and love it.
As a person, she is amazing. She is upbeat. So even when the department is really, really busy, Mandy has got her finger on the pulse and she knows what's happening.
Couldn't think of doing anything else. I feel very privileged to be a nurse. I'm very proud to work at the IUH. Fantastic team that I've worked with and fantastic teams that I've worked with throughout my career here. Very lucky indeed.
The main thing is that because Mandy works clinically, she is not a manager that sits in her office. She is a manager that works clinically on the shop floor, several late shifts a week, so she knows exactly what's happening out there.
You've got to be compassionate, you've got to have a sense of humour, you've got to actually like people and like working with people.